Okay, so the topic of the presentation is a project we have, well, we have been using Scaffold over the last 6 months, I would say, with a college in Wales. It's a vocational and technical college, and Hayley is the curriculum planning manager for the college. 1 second, I'm just confirming the language. 1 sec. Okay, so if I could have the next slide, please, Christine. So in Wales, there was a qualification available to 14 to 19-year-olds, which focused on developing important life and employability skills. Skills like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity and innovation. And the qualification is delivered through the medium of 3 thematic challenges and 1 individual investigation. It wasn't very popular as a qualification, as there were no teachers of creativity or teachers of problem solving, only teachers of those traditional vocational and subject areas. So you would have a hairdressing teacher or a business teacher or a mechanical engineering teacher. So they all had courses to teach. A creative graphic designer teacher, all across the different vocational sectors. Well, many students would come to the college to study these programs, and they were not at all interested in developing their skills in a different and separate classroom. So engagement was difficult, and holding on to the students, retaining those students until they had completed the qualification was also a challenge. However, it is also the case in Wales that all the employers and all the universities are looking for exactly these skills. So there's this mismatch between the skills that the students actually need and those which are taught on the different vocational programs. So there's definitely a recognized need for the skills, but a qualification designed for that purpose has not been very successful. So Hayley has decided to use, with all the 16 to 18-year-olds in the college, has decided to use a program that she has designed called the Destination Program. Now, this program focuses very clearly on employability and developing the skills needed by students in different vocational sectors when they leave college. Well, not just when they leave college and gain employment, but also the skills that they'll need to be successful on their courses. So Hayley decided to use EntreComp, the framework for entrepreneurial competences, as her construct for employability, as do many of the universities, not just in Wales, but also across England and Scotland. So really across, and Northern Ireland. So really across the whole of the United Kingdom. So it's actually in the 2nd year of the pilot, because whilst Hayley started using EntreComp with vocational lecturers last year, it's only begun to achieve sort of more experience, I suppose, once we've started using the scaffold cards as well. Because what we did was to hold workshops with teams of vocational lecturers from different areas to help them to use scaffold to embed entrepreneurial competence development across their whole curriculum. Not something different, not something separate, not in a different classroom, not for a different qualification, The learners were very focused. The students are very focused on the vocational skills and knowledge required of their future careers. But also what SCAFFOLD did was enable the lecturers and the students to articulate what skills they were practicing and developing, what skills they were able to carry forward into the workplace. So could we have the next slide, please, Christine? So, as I say, it's only the second year of this program. I provided some background for you on that first slide, but early benefits are emerging. So the use of SCAFFOLD and the Entrecomp framework has enabled the vocational teams to plan their curriculum together skills. So there's consistency across the program areas and also relevance, which was not always the case with the Welsh Baccalaureate qualification. They have found SCAFFOLD and Entrecomp to be very flexible as curriculum planning tools, in that they are able to select competencies which are most relevant to their vocational areas, to increase learner engagement and a learner's sense of the fact that these are skills they are going to need when they come to leave college and start working. What they really loved about SCAFFOLD was, whilst they were focusing initially on Entrecomp, those links to the digital skills and the green skills have been invaluable. Because like us, like people everywhere, all educators are struggling with this green and digital transition, you know, the need to embed digital technology and sustainability into all aspects of activity. So they really like those links. They like the ideas for thematic lesson planning. And also it's enabled lecturers from different vocational sectors to work together. So I've already emphasized that vocational teams would work together. So the creatives would work together. A team of engineering lecturers will work together, and they sort of identify the best approaches, the most relevant competences and so on. But because they're using the same tool in SCAFFOLD and they're using the same method, it's also facilitated collaboration between vocational sectors, which is really exciting, enabling the different vocational sectors to cross-fertilize skills. So it's really supported innovation, but also for students to support each other with this targeted employability development. So to give you a sense, if we could have the next slide, please, Christine, to give you a sense of the competences they've selected. Obviously, in a one-year program, they wanted to focus on those which were most relevant, and the ones that they found on, let me think, the design department, right? So the design department then have selected vision, working with others, ethical and sustainable thinking, self-awareness and self-efficacy, motivation and perseverance, mobilizing resources, taking the initiative and valuing ideas. So that's great. They've been able to really emphasize those they feel are most important to a career in design. And then also, you see, lecturers, when they are looking to develop the same competences, it makes that standardization and moderation of assessment much easier, because you have a greater number of lecturers to call on to establish those benchmarks. Okay, if we could have the next slide, please, Christine, thanks. So the SCAFFOLD principles that they focused on have been engagement in real-life learning experiences. Now, vocational colleges have been very good at this. They tend to be very good at this in the past because they work closely with employers and work with different workplaces across the public sector, private sector, third sector, to be able to provide their students with different contexts within which to develop and apply their learning. So the real life learning experience is one that the college had a significant experience in. Perhaps less experience, that would be the next principle, reflection, to enhance learners' understanding of how they learn. And that pause to look back, to review, to evaluate, can often be overlooked in a busy workshop. So this emphasis on reflection is possibly new in terms of its consistent application across the curriculum. Also, placing the learner at the centre has been quite new, in the sense that traditionally planning for cohorts of learners has been in terms of, all right, what do they need for this career? It's been all about the career pathway rather than diversity and inclusion, and actually asking learners what their preferences are. And increasingly, for after COVID, there have been issues encouraging young people to return to college, having got used to staying at home and maybe logging in. So getting students to come into college has been difficult, and also getting them to engage has been difficult. So this learner-centered approach has been really important as a part of re-engaging learners and making them believe that they can shape and influence their learning experiences in ways which are of value to them. Picking up on the post-COVID experience, the emotional learning helps learners gain a deeper insight into their strengths and abilities. We have many young people in Wales who are struggling with anxiety and a lack of confidence. And so this use of emotional triggers to engage students has been very useful in terms of persuading students that the learning is purposeful and that the learning is meaningful. And certainly in the case of Entrecomp, where the focus is on creating value of different types for other people, that value creation is very empowering for young people. So it's solving a lot of issues. The use of scaffold has offered solutions to many issues that the whole college has been struggling with, that different vocational teams have been struggling with. But we should probably have some harder results and feedback once the students have been through that whole process, and once the lecturers have been explicitly using these cards together for planning over one academic year. But certainly emerging results are very encouraging, and not least in the learners' engagement, in the learners' minds themselves. You know, the learners can see that the skills that they are developing, because they have been planned and embedded across the curriculum, are relevant and are valuable to their future career aspirations. Thank you, Christine.